How's everyone doing? Okay, cool. Today, for Samanvaya Youth Meet or ACC Career Compass, we have quite a few good topics that are coming up. And as you saw in the last Youth Meet and Career Compass that we talked about, there was a heavy emphasis on AI. There are many articles that have come out in the past couple weeks, and a lot of those articles have gotten many of us startled in whatever career we are. It's gotten us startled because people like Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg or many others have declared that AI will be something that will get rid of all mid-level engineers by the end of this year. There's been a lot of research being done on the AI subject and how it improves our efficiency, how it improves our productivity, but now we're seeing even more research on how it might even get rid of our jobs. Okay? Mid-level engineers is one thing. Junior level engineers, I think you could understand that something like AI might actually get rid of a junior level engineer. And I'm smiling here, and you think I might be kidding, but there's a big sense of seriousness behind it. OpenAI recently announced that there are only 6 software engineers in the world that are smarter than ChatGPT. That number will get to 5 next month, and then to 4. And then eventually it will be the smartest software engineer that is in the hands of all of us by the end of this year. So the point of these sessions that you will see today and in the next couple months is to get ahead of AI. I cannot express enough. If you are not using AI for your daily use, you're going to fall behind. You're not only going to fall behind in your career, but you'll fall behind in life as well. And I'll tell you why. As a developer, if you need help creating some code, AI is there. As a mechanical engineer, you need to write a nice email to your boss, use AI. If you're having a party at home and you need some ideas because you're inviting a bunch of friends, use AI. If you're home and your wife is not there and you need to cook dinner and you need to find a recipe and you go into AI and type in all the things that you see in your refrigerator, I see this sauce, I see this sock, I see this, and then say, AI, what can I make with these ingredients? It'll give you a very good recipe to make. So today, what we're going to go through is just a couple tools that are out there that will really blow your mind. But the bigger challenge is we can keep displaying things up on this stage. We need everyone to go home and get ahead of the AI curve. Learn all the different tools out there. How many of you have used ChatGPT? Raise your hands. How many of you have used Midjourney? Raise your hands. How many of you have used Octopus.do? Raise your hands. How many of you have used Typesmith? Raise your hands. How many of you have used Quizzy? Raise your hands. How many of you have used TopK? Raise your hands. How about right-click prompt? Touchbase, Clueso, OneSky, NVIDIA, InVideo. No one, right? Retail.media, Review Nicely. I have a list over 1,000 tools. If the only tool you know is ChatGPT, you are behind. That is my bold statement and challenge for everyone to learn more and more in the AI field. This goes for Bio, this goes for Beno, this goes for programmers, this goes for engineers, and this goes for doctors. It doesn't matter what field you are in, start diving into it. So today we have Jeetbhai. Jeetbhai, if you could come up to the stage. Jeetbhai is a programmer. Many of you know him. He's here. He did an undergrad in data science, and he nailed it. Very smart guy, went to Stanford University. And then he went and he found that data science is not my thing. He switched his role to front-end engineering, making websites. And when you go on website, you see about how everything looks and feels and all the colors. He did a lot of that. Now he's bored in his current job and he's looking for another opportunity. He's been looking for about a month. He's not finding anything right now. So he's seeked some career counseling. So let's see what Jeetbhai does next.
Good afternoon.
I need some help with my resume here. As
Okay.
Anandbhai just mentioned, I'm looking for a job switch. I was a data scientist before, moved on to front end, but I'm now looking for the next jump. I want to get a senior front end engineer role. I've been looking for jobs for quite some time now, but I haven't been able to get an interview in the first place, and then I don't even know how to get to that next step. Could you guys just take a look at my resume and help me figure out?
Of course.
Where am I wrong?
Where's your resume? Okay, found it. Okay, so you have your undergrad, you have your master's, you have your work ex. Looks good. Okay, I see you have relevant work experience. I just want to ask you, you have two projects in your work experience. Each project took, what, 3 to 4 months?
Roughly 3 months.
Okay. Did it really take you 3 months?
It takes a long time, especially when you have to work with other teams, get access to stuff, like structure your project, put specific goals and timelines.
Okay, but then how much time did the development take?
It actually did take us 3 months to go through like end to end.
Well, that's unbelievable.
Okay.
You know, like... Hello. The mic is not powered by AI. So have you heard of AI?
You mean ChatGPT?
Yes. But there's more to it than just ChatGPT. What do you use AI for?
I use it. I use it to write emails, write my...
That's it?
Yeah, for most part.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, so in 2025, that's all you use ChatGPT for. And you don't know anything else other than ChatGPT.
Nothing at all.
Okay, let me ask you another question. How long does it take for you to shower?
Takes me 10 minutes roughly, or maybe
10 minutes,
15 minutes.
okay? He's a quick person in the bathroom. But what if I tell you that here's your project as a data scientist that
Okay.
led end-to-end customer segmentation, analyzing 2 million plus target purchases, records, leveraging k-means clustering and RFM analysis to identify 5 distinct customer segments. I'm reading the whole point, okay?
Makes sense?
Then designed and implemented an interactive executive dashboard that drove a 23% increase in targeted marketing campaign effectiveness. This point, it will take the exact amount of time that it takes for you to shower.
I don't believe it.
It took you 3 months, but it will take 10 minutes.
I don't believe it. You'll have to show me.
Okay, so let's have a demo. We'll request Meetbhai to show us a demonstration and prove Jeetbhai wrong.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
let me give it a shot. Yeah.
Perfect.
Let me just access my machine from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a surprise. It takes Jeetbhai 10 minutes to shower. People also take 30 minutes to shower, so he's still a little fast, but... So just going through the project that Jeetbhai went through, he took online retail data set, did customer segmentation. I don't know much about data analysis and data science myself, But I guess there is some RFM analysis that he had mentioned in there. He did some marketing analysis, suggested some marketing tactics, and made interactive dashboard, right? Is that all right? Okay. So once my machine is live, I can try to do it. So first thing first, I don't know much about data science. I don't know much about data analysis. I also don't know how I would go about to do this project. Now, believe it or not, brainstorming is one of the biggest or most time-consuming part of the project. Planning it out with your colleagues, with your friends is something that takes you long. So I generally use AI to do my brainstorming. And I'm just waiting for my screen to come up live. Generally, I use ChatGPT or tools like that to just bounce off ideas and get ideas. And then, how many of you have heard about Cursor AI? Okay, how many of you use it on a daily basis? Okay, just a few. Cool. So I have been using it since some months now, and my personal experience using that one has been that since I have switched to Cursor, my productivity has increased by at least 2x. So I highly recommend you guys to try it out after this session. Okay, so while I'm just waiting for screen to come up live, what I can do is to make a better use of our time. I was actually gonna do it live, just put a prompt to ChatGPT, but again, it's not a hi-fi thing. I'll just do it, and once the response comes up and the screen comes out live, I can share what the response was and how then I subsequently went about doing it. So I'll just speak out loud whatever I'm typing into it, so everybody can also get a hang of what I'm typing into my ChatGPT. As a data analyst, I need to make a project about customer segmentation, perform clustering, RFM analysis, and determine marketing and business strategy. Also, since this is data analysis project, I need some good business context surrounding it. And at the end, I want nice visualizations and pitch deck that I can send to my stakeholders. I guess that was the entire project, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and I'm hitting enter and I'm starting to get back a response. It's starting to reason and plan a project for me. Okay, so this is the prompt I had put, and it's starting to give me an end-to-end plan. It says define business objectives and context, do data acquisition and preparation, exploratory data analysis, some customer segmentation technique, something about RFM analysis, marketing and business strategy formulation, and then do some visualization and tools and technologies. But now I don't know what data set to use for that. So I'll just ask, my friend, can you suggest me some good data set to use and corresponding Python snippet to download to have access to it? So whenever there's confusion, just ask AI. Okay, it's finding out some data set and probably it's going to recommend it to me in some time. Okay, I can see it has found out some data sets for me. I'll just copy this over. And okay, so now I'm going to code it. Now, probably Jeet just mentioned writing emails for just using ChatGPT for emails, but people also typically use ChatGPT to debug code, put some code snippet in there and find out answers and stuff. I generally find it annoying and difficult because just to give AI context, you will need to paste multiple lines of code from multiple different files. Then whatever the response comes back, you sort of copy it over, take it to your IDE, then try to run the code. Sometimes it fails, sometimes it doesn't. So I generally use Cursor to do all of this thing. Now, for those of you who don't know what Cursor is a open source IDE which has AI embedded in it. So it can technically read your entire code base, understand the context by itself. So only effort you need to do is put the prompt out there, and it can give you some good response. So let me just make a new repository. And open it. OK, so I'll just create a new file, main.py, and paste this code. Now, for those of you who already know about coding, this is just going to print out some top 5 rows of the data set, and I'm just going to print some additional thing. And if you see the suggestions out here, it's not something I'm asking for, but this is the Cursor AI automatically suggesting me all the things that I need. But I'm not going to use it because this is all I need for the time being. And let's try and run this code. So while this code is running, probably Cursor is going to this code is going to this URL, downloading it, and then it's going to print top 5 rows of these things, of this data. And it's also going to tell me how many rows I have in this data and how many columns does it has. Now, obviously, it will take some time because it's downloading this data set live on an URL. And actually, you know what? I can put some additional print statements here, loading data set. So next time, since it's loading, I will at least know that data set has been loaded. And see, it's already smart to suggest me that data set loaded successfully.
Meetbhai, is this only for autocomplete?
No, it is not. But what my strategy is, once I have this data set, then there is some cool thing in Cursor called as a Cursor Compose mode.
Oh.
So what I can do is I can just write a prompt that this is my data set, and I'll just copy everything from ChatGPT and say, this is all the analysis I need to run through it. And plus, Jeetbhai did some interactive dashboards, so I need some interactive dashboards. So that's what I will do. And then, boom, it will write all the code for me.
Wow.
That's powerful.
OK, so here it is. Here are top 5 columns that I have from this data. And if you go down here, it has about 540,000 different rows. And if you see, each and every row is some invoice number, some customer ID, some purchase code, and stuff like that. So, OK, let me just go down there and say, so now this is Cursor Compose mode. And let me just say, hey, this code prints data which is looking like this. Now, I need to run full analysis on it as follows. And I'll just go to ChatGPT. Copy everything over. Paste it here and say, make me a good interactive Streamlit dashboard out of this with multiple tabs. I think that should suffice my cause, and enter. So now it has started generating my entire code base, and soon we will see some output here.
Can you talk more about the data? What exactly is the type of data while this is being generated?
So the type of data is, to be honest, I just asked AI, so okay. I don't know the entire context. But my take is, this data has some invoice number and stock code. It has individual entries of customers purchasing something through online retail store. Obviously, I don't have access to proprietary target data that Jeet has worked on. So I just took out some data from there, and I generated this entire code. And if you see, the cursor has now generated this entire code for me, which is doing some cleaning. It is making some dashboards and everything. And for people who are familiar with development, they also know that Python projects generally has requirements.txt file. This is what I'll need to install all the dependencies. So, since Jeet takes shower in 10 minutes, I'll need to do it quicker. It would have been nice if you take shower in 30 minutes. I might have more time, so I'll just install all the dependencies.
I'm curious about this. I see that you've used the Claude 3.5 Sonnet.
Yeah.
Are there other models that we can use?
Yes, so there are many other models that you can use.
Okay.
Obviously, GPT is there. And if you go to cursor settings, not profile, sorry, my bad. Cursor settings, you probably have options of all the models that you can use.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes people have subscriptions of different models that they're already using in their day-to-day work. They can just go out there, enter its API keys, the way to get, access and directly use it in there.
Perfect.
But okay, so the code is generated. I have installed dependencies, so I'll just try to run this code. Streamlit run main.py. Okay, it's loading data, and as we had seen previously, this was the most time-consuming step because it's downloading it in live. But this was the kind of dashboards you had built, right? I mean, obviously we'll see it in some time, but you had made it some shareable live dashboards, or were this just static PDFs, or what were they like?
No, essentially these were like dashboards where you could play around with filters and everything and look at visualization. So it wasn't a static PDF, but we'll see what it shows up.
Yeah, even I'm curious what it shows up.
To those of us who don't know, what is Streamlit?
Streamlit is an open source Python library that sort of allows you to build dashboards via code.
Okay.
Now, I emphasize via code because I know people might have worked with Power BI, Looker, Tableau, or anything. But to the best of my knowledge, they only have drag and drop kind of functionalities, or you need to work through UI. And developers like us don't like drag and drop functionalities. We think that it makes us look dumb, so we use Streamlit. And okay, I'll be very honest, the reason to choose Streamlit for this demonstration was because for Tableau and everything, you'll need access and stuff, and Streamlit is open source, so anyone can use it. And the cool part about it is, you can directly take this web page and deploy it somewhere live that you can share with others.
Oh. Well, that's amazing. That's pretty fast.
Yeah, I think my data is still loading though.
Well,
Oh, here it is.
Oh,
Were these kind of interactive dashboards you were talking about?
this is exactly what I was talking about.
And look at that, it has some multiple tabs. Okay. Oh, some cool 3D visualization. Okay, it has performed about 4 segments, some cluster profiles, and this is product analysis.
This is really powerful though.
Was that all you did in 3 months?
A little more than this, but
Okay.
I think if I knew about this, it would have gone from 3 months to probably
so in the time that
a little less.
we spent on the podium, most of the time went in hooking up the laptop and loading of data and loading of dashboard.
Yeah,
The actual development took less than 10 minutes.
Agreed.
all right. So I'll end my demo here, thanks.
But I think this is just a basic project that I worked on. It was the first job in my career. I did
Okay.
not have enough experience. I was just learning things.
Okay.
I challenge you to do the next one.
Okay.
That was
let's-
a more challenging thing. I switched careers from data science to front end. It was overwhelming because I had to learn everything from scratch. And then I developed a particular feature for the target website
Wow.
that we spent 3 months on.
What was the feature that you built?
So we built a blog for the website
Okay.
that could eventually put up all the reviews that our customers had for our products.
Okay.
And then other customers could look at those blogs and make a decision about the products.
Wait, and you said that took you 3 months?
It was actually a team of 6, and we took 3 months to do that.
Wow. Okay. Led 6 developers in creating an enhanced blog feature for the target website, driving 20% more engagement on Target's front page. Very interesting. Okay. It took you 3 months to build a blog. What if I told you that Like Meet by built a dashboard for you in 10 minutes? If I could build a blog with all the features plus more in the same amount of time, well, then let's go to this, tool, which is called Bolt. It's interesting that at my workplace, one of my colleagues recently was trying to prototype a feature for light mode and dark mode. All of you must have heard of light mode and dark mode at this point. So, as we all know, light mode and dark mode is not it's not a quick rollout. It takes a while to build it. So my friend at work, he was prototyping this idea, and he came across a tool, which maybe some of you here are familiar with. It's called Bolt. This tool came out about 3 months ago, about 5 months ago, I should say rather. And as Anandbhai pointed out, most of us kind of think of ChatGPT as being synonymous to the AI that we are familiar with. But there's a lot of these specialized tools which allow you to do things which ChatGPT was not built for. So while under the hood it might still use the same models and things like that, these tools are way more powerful because they are tailor-made to do a certain thing. So like Jeetbhai said, he used to work on target.com. So let's just start with a simple thing over here. Let me just create a clone that I can work off. So I just go to this website. It's called bolt.new. It's by a company called StackBlitz. We'll go into a little bit more details about how it's built and stuff like that, but let me just start with this prompt. So I'm going to say create a clone of target.com with e-commerce, if I can spell that well, e-commerce, sorry.
Don't worry, I will correct it.
E-commerce and marketing features. So while this is building, it takes a while for it to scaffold. I'll just go into a little details about what this looks like. So if you go to the target website, here's what the target website looks like, right? And then you have a blog section over here and then like all these other features. It's a pretty nice looking website.
That's the one I built.
Sorry?
That's the feature I built.
Yeah, I'm coming back to that. Once the clone is up and ready to go. So Bolt.com is built, like we've seen in Cursor, Jeetbhai was using the model Claude Sonnet. Claude Sonnet is one of the most advanced coding models available today in the LLMs that are available for coding. And this entire tool, as you can see, right, it kind of goes step by step, building an entire website for you. Look at that. That's, Jeetbhai, we are still only at a minute. And we have the target homepage. It has flaws, let's agree, it does have flaws. But that's still not a bad start if you think, we just did that in less than a minute. So as you can see, a single prompt is broken down into multiple steps. This is something that has been recent in the AI world and is kind of being considered as a trend for 2025. It's called agentic flows. And we might have heard of this term. All it really means is that there's multiple tools and multiple AIs running together to do a specific job, to do a specific task. Because as we can imagine, right, as engineers, we know Building a website is not just like setting up one tool, it's multiple tools. We need to coordinate everything, set up everything correctly so that things play nice with each other. And then there's design, there's QA, there's a lot of other things as well that go hand in hand. So these agentic flows, which are built in specialized tools like Bolt, allow you to create something complex. This kind of tool was not available a year ago. It just shows how quickly AI is advancing and the importance of how soon things will change for each one of us over here. If we are not using AI, like Anand Bhai said, at our workplace, then we are definitely going to fall behind because a lot of the work that junior engineers do is just going to be done by tools like this. And this is already pretty solid. So going back to what Jeet Bhai built, I'm going to create a blog over here, and I'm going to add it to this. So instead of doing it in Cursor or anything of that sort, I could very well download this project and continue in Cursor. But because Bolt is specifically built for the front-end world, I'd prefer to do it over here. So I'm going to say add a blog section with articles and a link in the header. So this whole tool is built by a company called StackBlitz. StackBlitz built another technology which is called web containers, which is what powers this in some way. So sometimes when we look at an AI tool, it's not just the LLM or it's not just the AI model that makes the difference. It's a bunch of technologies. So in this case, web containers is sort of like an innovation because it allows you to run Node.js, which is a server-side framework or server-side environment, to run within the browser. So this technology is very critical for why you see Bolt working. So it's not just the models. It's the overall advancements in technology that are coming together. Web containers themselves are built on advanced features like WebAssembly and other complex web platform features. So if we really want to stand out as engineers and have competent skills in the future, it's going to be important that we go beyond the basics.
Get it right.
Because, yeah.
So I'm not in web development.
Yeah.
I'm not in front-end engineering.
Right.
Can I use Bolt to, let's say, build a portfolio for myself,
Of
even
course.
though I'm in finance or
Yeah.
mechanical engineering?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, as they say, the only programming language that you need to know about in the world of AI is English.
Okay.
If you can write it in English, Bolt can build it. And these tools are only going to get better and better with time. And we've seen that over the last 6 months, a year, these tools are advancing at a pace which is tremendous. It's just hard to believe how quickly things are changing. So I go back to my target website. Jeet Bhai, there you go. We have the blog. Let's click on it.
So Jeet Bhai, it's actually not Kirit Bhai who's building it in 10 minutes. He's just chatting with us.
So it seems like Bolt hasn't really added. Did it add the blog? Oh, no. Seems like it added it, but it's not linked correctly. So I'm going to ask it to fix that.
Might take him more than 10 minutes.
So you might have ran into bugs and stuff when you were developing as well. How long took you to fix those bugs when you hit one? I mean,
sorry,
I'm
can you
asking
say that
Jeet
again?
Bhai.
Days, actually.
Okay, couple of days.
So you can not only ask it to create things for you, but it's smart enough to understand the entire project and even fix things. So it knows the language the tool is built in and pretty much everything around this whole project. It has that whole context, which is why it uses a lot of tokens for those who are like in engineering and are familiar with the term. So yeah, there you go. It's updated. So hopefully this time we should be, okay. So it added a blog section instead of a dedicated blog page. Let's see if I can go to view all the articles. Okay, so that's not available right now. Can I click on the articles to go inside them? No. So that's maybe something that we need to do next, right? Like we want to see the details view of these articles.
Is it that simple? It will just, okay.
Wait, I also want to be able to comment on it.
You want to go out there and build something in this app?
Okay.
No. Comment on the blog, add reactions.
So can you create a blog details page? This is all I'm going to say, right? I'm going to create a simple blog details page, which is linked to these, to show me the details of these articles.
And comment on that page probably as well?
It's kind of interesting to see how it generates the code as well. It goes into the right files that resemble what needs to be changed, and then make those changes just in those specific files. So coming back to like how this was built and things like that, there's obviously, as I said, like other advancements. There's this thing called artifacts, which Claude announced about 6 months ago. Which is one of the driving factors of how all these code gen tools work. And with artifacts, what you get is essentially a breakdown of files and those kind of things. So as I said, it's a culmination of innovation that brings together these powerful technologies and makes them more and more effective. Right? Agents is another one, like we talked in the beginning. This is, again, not been around for a long time. It's less than a year that agents were, sort of got mainstream attention. There's even bolt.diy. For those hackers in the audience who are curious and want to trying to set this up by themselves at home, I encourage you to go and try bolt.diy as well. Yeah, go ahead.
Is the website done?
Sorry?
The blogs?
Yeah, I'm going back to that.
I guess Jeet Bhai only takes showers in 10 minutes.
10 minutes,
That's the problem, I guess.
There you go. So you have your detailed article here, Jeet Bhai. You said you had comments, right? Comments?
Yeah, this is just basic. Like I had
Oh, okay.
all these styles looked much fancier. I had comments on the
What
blog
kind of
page.
styles?
When
Or-
you go back to the page,
Okay.
there were like shadows on the tiles.
Okay.
It looks pretty basic right now.
Okay. I still got some like animation effects in there. I'll come back to the styling in a bit. Let's just, possibly add comments to this. And maybe let's just do likes as well. What do you say?
Yeah,
Right?
we had likes and upvotes and reactions as well.
Okay.
We can ask the audience, do you want any feature in this?
Add likes, comments, and reactions to the blog posts
Yes?
Okay.
with a form. This is already responsive. I'm coming to that.
Your wish is
Actually-
already fulfilled.
Let me step down. Maybe I can take some features from audience after your features are done, Jeet Bhai. Probably you didn't open it up to the users, right?
No.
Okay, let me come down and open it up to the audience then.
Yeah, we're going to beat Jeet Bhai. For whatever he did, we're going to do more in 10 minutes. It's interesting how a person without any technical skills can go this far with building a website. I'm sure there's like a lot of front-end engineers over here, and you know how long it took us to just get off the ground and build and deploy our first website. And here you go. In less than 10 minutes, you have a deployable website, right? It's pretty astounding. A lot of this also has to do with prompt engineering. So a lot of these tools rely very heavily on prompt engineering techniques. So while prompt engineering might seem like a, like a cliche term, or it might seem that, okay, how far can I go just with prompts? You'd be surprised that most of these tools heavily rely on very well-crafted prompts. Okay, so going back to the website, there you go. We have our article. Here you go, Jeet Bhai. How's that looking? We got reactions, we got comments, we got a form, we got comments
Wow,
posted
it looks
by
awesome.
users over there. Right? How about we go back now and what do you say? What do you say, guys? Should we do light mode, dark mode? Should we add new features? Anyone in the audience? Let's give it a try, okay?
Anyone?
I know live demos are risky, but we still want to do it.
Yeah, we have time for one feature.
Okay, we have one here.
See, while we are asking about the next feature, I'll just add the light mode and dark mode. What do you think? Yeah, let's just do it.
So my question is less on feature, but how do you host it now after the website is created?
Yeah, I'll show you that. I'll show you that in a second. So,
Okay.
for sure. But is there a feature that you would like to see?
Oh yeah, it takes money, he's saying, but yeah. So I think we are good on the features, but I would like the styling which Jeet Bhai is mentioning he did for 3 months.
Sorry?
So the styling of the tiles,
Okay.
that feature like
The sliding of
the
the...
sliding, yeah.
Oh, like a slider.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can
Yeah.
give that a try. So while we were talking about that, I prompted Bolt to give us light mode and dark mode anyways for free, Why not? Because just ask AI and who knows, you might get it. Jeet bhai, what do you think?
I think this is pretty awesome, and I'll tell you why. All this while, I have to talk to a product manager and convey my ideas.
Yeah.
You know what? Now I can build 8 to 10 POCs, send it over to them, and ask them to pick and choose which ones do they want to
There you go.
work
You
on.
have light mode and dark mode with a nice little icon over there, which even Target doesn't have, by the way. And, it works flawlessly. Just look at that. You could go to any page. Okay, there's a small glitch over here, but well, you could fix that. You could tell AI to, fix the titles on the blog page, and it'll do it for you. Yeah. There was a slider request. Sorry, we ran out of time, guys. But if you want, I can add the slider for you while we're having dinner. Thanks.
So Jeet bhai, that's your whole resume.
I know.
So, what we learned here, everything that Jeet Bhai did in 10 years can be done in 10 minutes. Thank you, Kirit Bhai. Thank you, Meet Bhai, for an amazing set of demos. We're not done yet. We're not done. We have one more demo. But how many of you are software engineers? Raise your hand. How many of you are not software engineers? Raise your hands. Majority. All right, this next demo is for ones that are not software engineers, but in case you do want to become a software engineer, you could use these tools like Kirit Bhai did. If you know English and you could type it in English, AI can build it. That's how it is, okay? So the first one that was demoed by Meet Bhai was Cursor AI. If you are using like a VS Code based IDE today, you should try Cursor AI. And the next week, try Cursor AI. If you are doing front-end development, or if you just want to make a cool website for yourself, you could literally put your resume into Bolt AI, and Bolt AI will make you a personal website. That's how powerful it is. And you don't need to know how to code. Even if you want to put it on GitHub, all you have to type in is, how do I put this on GitHub? It'll tell you step by step how to get there. Really, really awesome. The next one is Notebook LM. For those of you that are students, or for those of you that are very religious and have a lot of religious documents and goshtis and swadhyay points, like if you want to really synthesize all of your educational material, if you want to synthesize all your adhyatmic material, Notebook LM is a very powerful AI tool that we're going to go into, and we'll probably go into even more in future sessions. But let's call upon Krutart Bhai to give us a quick demo on Notebook LM.
Hello. Good evening. When I was in India, for engineering exams, I just used to use one book, TechMax. And some of my friends told me that there was another book, much smaller, KT280, and you could use that and you can clear your exams. Then I came to United States for my master's, And then I was introduced to a college portal called Blackboard. Some of them will have something else, but Blackboard is over there. And in that, there were lecture notes, slides, preferred readings, even transcripts or transcribes of what the professor said, and reference books, research papers. And I was like, what am I supposed to read? How am I supposed to clear my exam? This was back in 2016. We didn't have this. Now we have this. And this is not just for people who are in college. It's for anyone who have a lot of material. You can put all of this material in one place, use it for 3 reasons: knowledge retrieval, targeted insights, and context engine. It seems my laptop couldn't handle it. Okay, here we are. So, Notebook LM, it's not like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude. These models, the ones that I mentioned, are trained on data available on the internet. But Notebook LM is for someone who can use their data, put it in, and then use it. The Notebook LM will use it as context. So the main advantage is that it won't hallucinate. For example, if you write in ChatGPT, what are the H-1B laws? It might come up with its own laws. But if you have the document inside Notebook LM and you ask that what are the H-1B laws, if the document isn't there, then it will just say that it's not part of the source. So let's start with creating a new notebook. I want to learn Python. I don't know anything about Python. Okay? So I go to this website because that's the only one available for openly. So it's Introduction to Computer Science and Programming. This is the best imitation of any college. I go to MIT OpenCourseware, right? And I download all the lectures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So I go up, I give this notebook Python midterm exams. Now, I'll go here and upload the 5 lectures. All right? So now once these lectures have been uploaded, just press refresh. It gives you a summary of what these lectures are. So the first lectures are about introduction, then indexing and slicing, input, output. Now I want to see what's inside each lecture, just a summary. So I click on it. It gives you the whole PDF here. But I don't have time to go through the whole PDF, right? Who will go through 5 PDFs? It's the time of AI, and I'm lazy. So what I'm going to do is click on the briefing doc. Right? It's generating. Okay. So step by step, lecture 1, it gives you foundations. Lecture 2, strings, input and output, and some more details. Lecture 3, iteration. Lecture 4, lecture 5. So this is what I have to study for my midterm. Now, I've already gone through the material. I'm sure all of you here are studious to go through the material once. And you realize that, okay, in lecture 2, the strings part, I'm not too confident. All right? So now I can just type, give me an elaborate explanation of strings. Here. So this gives us a breakdown of all the important concepts from lecture 2. All right? So the first use case is, if we want to retrieve anything, right now, I have only 5 sources. But I think, okay, this might not be enough. So I go on the Perplexity, which I use. Give me Python beginner concepts on strings. So I go to this website, use this website, and I add this as a source. All right? So now you can use links, documents, PDFs, even YouTube videos as part of your source. And it will make sure that it's in the notebook LM. Again, if I ask why, what recipe can I make from bread and sauce, it won't be able to answer because this is not like ChatGPT. This is only focused on your personalized material that you have put in, right? So now the first use case was identifying the core documents. Now let's say I go to YouTube and Python project ideas. So then now give me project ideas that involves strings. So you see that within the project ideas, there's this Mad Libs generator that gives you the project ideas. Now, if I want to use this as study material, I can just create a study guide. It will come up with 10 questions that will help us to test ourselves. So here, there are a lot of formats and a lot of pre-formatted templates that can help us in just getting what we want. Now, let's say I'm driving and I don't have time to read. So what do? I listen. Okay? While this is being generated, there will be an audio podcast generated based on our material. Now, if we upload anything, even in, let's say, Gujarati or Hindi, the podcast will be in English, but will cover all the concepts that's in Gujarati and English. So the podcast will take like a couple minutes, but let's look at the study guide. So it has created like 10 questions, and then there are 10 answers, and then there are 10 essay questions, and then glossary. So before, I had to go through the whole material, use the previous papers to refer, but now what I can do is dump everything that I have, use it for any knowledge retrieval, so some areas where I'm weak, use it for generating flashcards or quiz, where if I want to study, this is how I can practice. Mock interviews, anything that we want. If we want to keep adding materials, we can do so. This takes in 300 sources. One notebook can take 300 sources, but we can combine these 5 sources into one. The podcast's being generated, so it'll take a couple minutes. Now, I would like to ask anyone here who's even a professional, what's the most difficult challenge you have in upskilling or even studying? You can answer. What's the most difficult challenge? Getting the right summary. Yes. Creating a questionnaire. So see, that's already taken care of. Next. Knowing what is going to come in the paper. So now, if we have access to previous papers, we can input them and then just give us weighted questions on which questions are more likely to come. So while the podcast is being generated, I'd like to just go over the overall summary that Notebook LM is something where I uploaded a Gujarati audio to this. It also transcribes the whole thing. Okay? From Gujarati audio, it gives us a summary of what's there in English. And it also generates a podcast, which is already being generated. So now the conversations in Gujarati, the podcasts in English.
All right. Out.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is this speech was originally in Gujarati.
Oh, wow.
But no worries, we got you covered.
Okay.
We had it translated, so
Awesome.
let's jump right in.
All right, let's go.
Right away, it's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, you see this emphasis on community.
Oh, yeah.
Right from the get-go.
Uh-huh.
The speaker is calling for, this annual gathering of all the young men in America.
So, like, everyone's got to get together.
Yeah, and it seems like they've had a lot of success this year
They did.
with that.
They pulled it off this year.
They got everyone there,
That's great.
but it doesn't stop there.
No. What else?
It's not just about showing up.
Look.
The speaker immediately challenges everyone to bring 5 more youths
Wow.
to this gathering that's happening in July.
So, like, exponential growth?
Yeah.
I like it.
It's like they're aiming for this huge surge in participation.
Yeah, definitely aiming for growth.
What do you make of that?
I think it's a pretty clever strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you
Get people involved.
Yeah, get people involved, but also just, like, grow
Yeah.
the community.
It's like a viral marketing campaign,
Yeah.
but for
So the overall speech was just 17 minutes, but the podcast's 18 minutes. So anyone who has a language barrier and wants to learn something from across languages can also use this tool to understand what's going on in a different language. So in the end, I would just like to conclude that everything is at our disposal. It's up to our will to use it. We are just limited by our imagination. And if we desire to exceed, we have the tools to exceed. Thank you, everyone.
Bolt AI was one for those that are front end. Cursor AI was one. And this last one was Notebook LM. There was a Python example that was used, but even if you're in chemistry, biology, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, whatever course you're taking, whatever thing you're graduating in, Notebook LM can be used to help you get much better grades. Now I want everyone to write one thing down. It's this website, futuretools.io. futuretools.io. It's a beautiful website, and there's this one person who daily puts out a YouTube video on all the new AI products coming out. You don't need to watch those videos, but each of the AI tools are in this website. And say you want to do image editing, video generation, code generation, recipe maker, you just type it into the search bar and it will tell you which AI tool to use. So we want to challenge everyone here. As we said in the beginning, if we don't get in front of the AI revolution that's happening, we will get left behind. After that, don't cry if you're not getting a job. Don't cry if you're not able to get ahead in front of the competition. We're telling, really, rarely do we tell, but we're asking that get in front of the AI revolution, learn all the tools that are out there as much as possible. So one challenge for everyone, find one tool in futuretools.io, play around with it, see if you could become an expert on it. We would love for you to reach out to us before the youth meet next month and let us know if you're willing to do a 5-10 minute demonstration on something you found. Challenge okay? Accepted? All right, cool. 5-minute break and we'll get back into Someone of a Youth Meet.